there's that, yes. Actually, I'll stop complaining about anything else. That's okay. It's okay with me. Good hearing. Sitting next to it.
Switch with Craig. I just switched with you, Craig.
What's that?
You're supposed to be over here. Yeah. I switched with you so I can grab my your side so I can hear you. There we go.
All set? Everybody rise for Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No one took
Okay. Call the planning board meeting to order for Monday, September 25th. Item number 1 is approval of the July 24th, 2017 and the August 28th, 2017 regular meeting minutes.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve, but with the comment that we need to be clear about when we make a motion on seeker, our very first words need to be regarding the seeker, so that when we look at a motion in here, for instance, this is a motion on a motion by Canoza, seconded by Boutreau, that the board finds no adverse environmental impact. We don't even really mention that we're voting on the seeker. So for the future motions, if we can just say regarding the seeker or regarding the application, we get that first words out of our mouth. That's a comment, not a change to the minutes.
Okay, do you have any further comments? Questions? Want to have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Okay, second item, planning board agenda item 2017-22.
We just did.
Why you announced both?
Oh, sorry, I was only looking at the first set of minutes.
Okay.
I did not mean to make a motion regarding both. I'd like to make a motion regarding the August 28th minutes as well, which was not clear to me, that we accept those minutes as presented.
Okay, do you have any comments? Have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, now we'll move on to item number 2, planning board agenda item 2017-22. It's 29 Hamilton Street. Long form seeker. It's a historic site review. A request to remove weathered rolled roofing and replace with new full rolled roofing and repoint mortar joints in various areas of the house. The applicant is Albert Ball and the plan developer is Alfred Ball.
Hello everybody, I'm Albert Ball. I'm here on behalf of Daniel Nowen, the owner. I'm currently working on the site with other projects that have been approved by the board. This is just something else that he's added to it, being that I'm redoing the deck, which is almost done. He realized the roof is bad and wants to preserve that so that it keeps the deck for longer. It is rolled roofing. We looked at the option of doing shingles on it, but it's a 112 pitch, which voids the warranty on shingles automatically, so he just wants to stay with rolled roofing. To seal it out. If when I peel up what's there, I find out that the deck is weathered, that would be replaced as needed as well. And as far as the repointing, it's just minor spots around where the mortar's starting to crumble, and just repoint it up and get everything good.
Do you have any questions from the board?
Same color rolled roofing?
Yep, black.
And I want to note that we do have permission from the owner for you to
Yes.
represent him. And I want to congratulate you on the work you've done so far. I drive by it almost every day.
I've gotten
And
a
it
lot of
looks-
compliments from a lot of
Looks
people.
so much better. Big improvement. And again, you're pretty much, you're doing like with like, and, the only thing is, and what will you use for the, what do we have a feeling if he needs to replace the wood that's underneath the rolled roofing? Is it plywood acceptable, of course? It's not gonna show
You
structural.
won't see it.
It is
Advanced
just
tech,
plank board
whatever.
right now. If it doesn't all need to be replaced, I'd like to replace just the planks. I mean, but if it's widespread, then do the whole deck surface. My client's already about $3,000 over what the initial budget was into this, so
Old house.
I wanna keep it, you know,
Yeah.
within means for him.
Yeah,
I think as long as
I
it's
think
not visible
it's
and you're
not
working with the
visible.
building inspector,
we're
Yep.
good, we're good.
the acceptable material to them would be
Okay.
fine.
I'd
Okay.
like to,
If not, if there's no further comments, we do have a
Yeah, look at the seeker.
long form seeker.
let's see if we got any crazy numbers.
Maybe we should just add that into the description. Boards as needed.
Oh, boards as need, deck boards?
Right.
Oh, roof deck boards as needed, yeah, we could do that. And then, as usual, on page 13, sometimes we get this checked and we sort of have to make the decision. Is the project site or any portion of it located or adjacent to an area designated as sensitive for archaeological sites? And again, the New York State site has a very broad brush in deciding what's got archaeological sites. And I think this board can decide that your particular building on the roof does not have an archaeological site that you're gonna disturb. I think we can change that answer safely. Agreed?
Change it to no.
To no from yes. Okay, so that's the only change that I saw in the seeker that I wanted to make. I don't think it affects anything. You're changing the roof.
Okay, if I don't have any further comments, can I have a motion on the seeker?
Regarding the seeker, I'd like to make a motion that we find no adverse environmental impact.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Bill, yes.
Okay, I have application as presented with a couple
Go for
of
it, go for it.
notes.
I will make a
On the
motion
motion?
on PB number 2017-22 for 29 Hamilton Street to accept the application as presented to do the roof with like roofing and replacing roof deck boards as needed.
In the pointing.
And repointing
And the
the mortar
repointing
tips.
of the bricks
Yeah.
that need the repointing.
I'd like to second that motion to approve the application.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, planning board item number 3. This is for planning board application 2017-21, 5460
You're
Peru
up.
Street.
Is that you? You're up.
I have a long form seeker. I have, it's for a historic site review, request to replace green shingled roof with green shingles. The applicant is Paul Lamora, and I presume plan developer is also Mr. Lamora.
I'm the owner, I live there. The roof is about, I think, just about 20 years old. I'm told, and when I go up, it looks as if it needs to be repaired. I'm told that it needs to be replaced. So it's, I think what you refer to as 3-tap shingles, green. I'm hoping to replace with architectural green, basically same color. And that's the whole project, basically. The roof has been there, I think that roof was done 18 to 19 years ago.
How long have you lived there, Paul?
I've lived there 18 now.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they're telling you it was only 2 years old when you moved in, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? But it was replaced, it was replaced sometime around 20 years ago, as far as I know.
Yeah.
It's a shame they don't last longer, but, the
Rough
roof itself doesn't have a great pitch, but it does have enough of a pitch to be able to take the water away, so.
Yeah.
And that's hopefully gonna get done this year. That's the plan.
Any questions for the applicant?
I have a series of things to change on the seeker. But again, that don't affect, you know, the end result or anything, but just
Well, why don't
yes,
we-
yes, no's, et cetera.
We'll move on to the seeker
Okay.
review and comments.
Okay, on page 2, do any municipally adopted comprehensive land use plans include the site? Well, the answer should be yes, that's C2A. And if it's yes, does it include any specific recommendations for your site? And the answer is no. Okay. On page 3 of 13 at the top, question CZ, you answered yes, but you didn't answer the rest of the question, which is, what's the zoning classification and including any overlay district? Well, it's an R2 zone and you have a historic district overlay that you're in. And is the use permitted? Well, yes, so that should be yes. So that all gets changed at the top of 3 of 13.
My wife completed the application with Jody, I think with Jody's help, so.
Well,
I don't know.
you know, it's, the questions are not really always clear. Page 8 of 13, toward the bottom, it's question R. Will the proposed action involve or require the management or disposal of solid waste? I'm gonna presume you're not roofing over the old roof, you're
No.
ripping it off.
It is coming off.
And sending it to the landfill, right?
Yes, it's going to the
So
landfill.
that changes that answer to yes, and I can't give you how many tons, because I have no clue.
Yeah, neither
Not
do
that
I.
much, and it's going to the landfill, is pretty much the answer, okay. And again, that same question on 13 of 13 about whether your particular house is a archaeological site
Hmm.
on the inventory, and I'm going to guess the answer should be no.
I don't know, I
Yeah,
don't know.
I just don't think so.
I know when I'm digging in the garden, I can find some concrete and some nails.
Usually you find old bottles,
I
garbage,
might.
where they buried their garbage in the
I
backyard.
hope I find a
So those are the
box that's filled
changes,
with coins,
those are the
gold
changes
coins.
that I had proposed for the seeker.
Okay, well, if I don't have any further comments or questions, do I have a motion on the seeker?
Regarding the seeker, we find no adverse environmental effects.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye. Okay, so
Okay.
a closer look at what you're doing. Pristine green. That's the color you picked, huh?
Well, I thought it would be worthwhile to stay green. I mean, the house is a funny color as it is, and then there, you know, there may be a coat of paint in the future, but
Yeah. Luckily, you don't have to ask us about that.
you don't have to ask?
No.
Okay, that's
No.
good to know.
You may pick your color.
You may pick your
Yeah,
color.
you know, the house has got an interesting color with the white windows, so.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought the green would look nice with maybe a yellow, so.
Well,
I'm
you have
fine
any-
with the like, and I can see how sad
How
it is.
much it needs.
Yeah, there's some repair, I mean, it needs to be done. I've been
Yeah.
up there myself.
Now, do you think you might have to replace any parts of your roof decking? Do you think any of it's not solid?
I certainly hope not. I know when, I believe when it was done, there was a section of where a chimney had come out
Yeah,
originally, and I think they didn't do a great job. Whoever did the roof previous
Yeah.
didn't do a great job. So there was a patch made, or
Yeah.
the roof was repaired.
yeah.
It's only 18 years old. I don't think
Yeah.
anything's been getting damaged under there in the last 18 years. I certainly hope not. They're a 20-year shingle that were on there, I believe.
Yeah.
They're 3 tabs, so.
Yeah.
I'm hoping the shingles have done their job.
And what's the warranty on the stuff you're gonna buy? Is it 20-year, what you're gonna buy 20-year?
Oh, I think he's putting on a 25-year. You know, I don't think you can buy 3-tab anymore. They pretty much architectural, so.
Yeah.
They guarantee those for 25 years. They're probably good for 23, I don't know, 22. I'm not sure. And it may have something to do with the pitch of the roof, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, the water doesn't leave as quickly, so maybe it takes a little more toll. I don't know.
well, if there's no further comment or question, do I have a motion on the application?
I'll make a motion to approve application PB 2017-21 to replace shingles in the green color as submitted in like manner.
Have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you very much.
Any paperwork that needs to come with that, or are we good to go?
You have to actually go back to the building inspector, and now that we've done this, he
We'll
will
get the
issue you a
permit?
permit.
Yeah. All right, well,
Okay.
thanks very much.
Thank
Have a good
you.
night.
You too. Okay, item number 4, this is planning board application number 2017-20, intersection of Kansas Avenue and Kentucky Street. Short form seeker, subdivision, review, request to subdivide lot into 2 parcels. The applicant is Tom Maggie and plan developer is Dean Lashway.
Which are absent.
And it does not appear that we have
Here.
the applicant here.
And we were gonna postpone anyway.
I was gonna say, I guess one item, for discussion is we do, I believe this is a minor subdivision, which, does require a public hearing, which I don't believe that we had, properly advertised for the public hearing tonight. So I guess we would, I'd entertain a motion to table the application so that we can advertise for the next.
I'll make a motion that we
Agenda.
table appeal, planning board appeal 2017-20, intersection of Kansas and Kentucky, for 2 reasons: because of the lack of the advertising of a public hearing as needed, and because the applicant isn't here to answer any questions, for both reasons.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
I have 2 copies of it.
And I guess we would look that the public hearing be advertised if the applicant, as long as the applicant submits, it'd be advertised for the next meeting.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Okay, moving on to the last item. This is planning board application number 2017-23. This is Kansas Avenue and Connecticut Road. A short form seeker. Preliminary subdivision sketch plan review. Request to subdivide lots 15 through 19 into lots M1 through M9 for a net gain of 4 residential lots. The applicant is Musso Development and the plan developer is Scott Allen.
Mr. Chairman, for the record, I'd just like to recuse myself.
Okay.
Thank you.
So is our,
So we have our 4. Okay. We have 4 to vote. Pick
4.
and vote, yeah.
Well, this is just.
This is
a
sketch.
sketch.
Yeah.
anyway,
sketch
so-
plan, yeah, I'm not sure if
Yeah.
you take a vote on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were here with a similar, plan, which involved, the, lots up front on Kansas Avenue back in 2015. We requested to take lots, the original, and I'm talking about the original, Lake Country Village lots. Actually, it was West Shore subdivision is what was originally approved back after Lake Country Village was converted from the existing housing stock into townhouses. So after phase 1, 2, and 3 of the Lake Country Village, there was this remaining stretch to the south that had old houses on it that the Air Force had not gotten around to refurbishing like they did to the houses in Lake Country Village. These houses, they never made it that far, so they all came down. And that created vacant lands for what was known as West Shore subdivision. And lots 15, 16, and 17 fronted on Kansas Avenue down in the bottom of this map. So back in 2015, Ken Musso had acquired title to 15, 16, and 17. And he came in then with a plan to re-subdivide 15, 16, and 17 into M1, M2, M3, M4, and M5. It's basically Kansas Avenue on the south and Connecticut Road on the east. Actually, I think north is pointing to the left on this drawing, so forgive me if I'm confusing you with directions. But in 2015, we got the subdivision approval. We were just about ready to file that map when Ken acquired the lands to the, actually to the east, which is to the top on this drawing, because north points to the left. So he acquired the rest of Connecticut Road frontage, and that was lots 17, or excuse me, that was lots 18 and 19, I believe. Okay, so now that he owns original lots 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19, he would like to reconfigure those lots, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. He'd like to reconfigure those 5 lots into what we're calling lots M1 through M9. And like the description of the action says, it's a total of 4 additional lots. And these are all planned for single-family residences on them. And our zoning table on this drawing, I think it's up toward the top, if I recall. We have a fairly extensive zoning table and analysis of each of the lots, and we find that all of them comply with the zoning requirements. This is a virtual minefield of utilities that run out through there, so we spend a lot of time trying to accurately map in-ground utilities. Some of them are relatively easy because they run straight between structures. Some of them are a little less certain as to their exact location. We think we got everything pretty well covered now. And we show the building footprint areas. They're actually the buildable areas on each lot. They're either strictly the zoning setbacks, or else they're a combination of zoning setbacks and utility easement lines. All of these utilities are controlled by the City of Plattsburgh Department of Public Works.
Scott, can I ask you a question?
Pleasure.
I'm looking at M6, or I'm trying to on this teeny tiny little copy. Okay. M6, the weirdly shaped lot that's like a piece of pie, kind of. Narrow front.
Yes.
Wide ass back. Okay.
Right.
What is the minimum street frontage you need to have in R2? And I'm thinking it's not 24 feet wide. I think that's what I'm reading there.
Right. Now,
Yeah. Does that need a variance?
Yeah, no. If we go up to the zoning table, we'll find a distinction between lot frontage and lot width.
Okay.
The definitions. In fact, the zoning ordinance is silent on lot frontage. Many towns that I work in do distinguish between frontage and width. City of Plattsburgh's ordinance is silent on frontage, but it does define width. And width is
The average?
well, no.
No.
Width is the. I don't know if anybody's got your ordinance.
Well,
on it, but I'm gonna try to
you
quote
seem
it.
to be quoting it here. The shortest straight
No.
line, no?
See, that's isn't that footnote? Is that C?
It says A, I think.
Is that an A?
It's an A.
Yeah, it's an A, but I don't know where it's
Okay. Well,
picking it up.
let's see. That I don't think that footnote.
Oh, yeah, it's up there. It's under M6. It says, can't really read it. You got, looks like you got 84.2, but I can't read it from here. I can't read the tiny little number on here.
I think you're right. I think it's
And so it says, the city of Plattsburgh defines lot width, shorter straight line distance between two sidelines of the lot. If a lot shall not have parallel lines, the average of such widths parallel to the front street side line throughout the depth of the lot should constitute the average width of the lot.
because it's so wide.
That's correct. Yes.
That's what I'm reading on here.
That is the definition of lot width, which is, and as I said, the zoning ordinance is silent on lot frontage. So the lot width, if we look again at M6, the lot width at the front setback line for M6, or what in this case is the side of the stormwater utility lines, the width at that point is 84.26 feet. that what it says on the table?
It's
Looks like an 8.
It's very hard to read.
84.20. I've got a larger scale.
It's just that you can't tell an 8, you know what I mean? You can't tell an 8 from a 6 when it's size 8, 6, whatever, you're gonna tell it apart.
Yeah. Yeah. That is better.
So did I answer your question then on the lot?
You've answered the question, but I'm not thrilled with that lot.
No, it's it's about room for one.
And I think about, say somebody, I mean, say they put in a double-sized driveway. Okay, so their driveway is 24 feet wide. It takes up their entire front lot line. It's kind of crazy. And then we have the problem of space between curb cuts, right? Don't we have has to be so many feet between curb cuts?
Between curb cuts?
I believe, 50 feet or something between curb, no, yes?
I'm not familiar with that.
Well, anyway, I'm
Other than in terms of
trying to
commercial.
remember, okay?
Rather than in terms of commercial driveways, residential.
Yeah. Anyway, as I look at it, couldn't it have been done some other way? That's what you're here for, comments, right?
Sure. But, you know, see, the thought process into M6 is, since the only buildable area is out and back, you know, why use up road frontage for anything other than a driveway? Since it'll be a longer driveway to get back to the lot. That was the theory behind it, anyway. Because with the storm sewer line and the sanitary line there, we can't move out closer to the street with the building envelope.
Scott, is this lot one lot today? Or is it actually 16, 17, 18, 19?
The tax map still shows it as 16, 17, 18, and 19.
Okay, but those lots aren't delineated in here in any way to try to make
no, I
it
didn't,
look cleaner?
I didn't add them on there for fear that it would further confuse the drawing.
Okay,
But
okay.
I do, let's see. If I got a clean, oh, you know where a good place to see it is on the back of the seeker form? The last page of the seeker form. We used the EAF mapper and outlined the ownership.
Okay,
See it
yep,
on there?
yep.
So, yeah, those,
Except north is a different
17,
direction.
18,
Okay.
huh?
North is a different direction.
Okay,
Yes, north is up Kansas.
so that's how that exists today?
Yeah.
Or,
Yes, those are the tax map parcels, all under common ownership, all under Musso's ownership.
okay. Are all of these easements actual deeded easements, or are they
Yes.
proposed easements?
Yeah, there's one deed from, let me see if I can remember this correctly. That deed, the easement was in one conveyance from Select Property Group to, well, the way it was set up is when title was conveyed to Select Property Group from the IDA, Clinton County IDA, because Park couldn't receive ownership of the land at that time. So the transfer of title went from the Air Force to IDA. And then IDA to Select Property Group. Okay, so when Select Property Group conveyed the streets, they also conveyed all of the easements for all of the utility lines. So all the streets, Kansas Avenue and so forth, Main Road, that conveyance includes all of the utility line easements. So that's the document where the utility line easements are, where, you know, ownership of the easement is created. that document refers to the subdivision plans for the actual location of the easements.
So basically, the road dedication document is where the reference to all
Yes.
these utility easements
Yes.
exist, and the city,
If I'm remembering correctly, that's the way it occurred. I do know that the transfer of the utilities was affected.
and the city at this point takes, I guess, exception of all of these utilities as identified on the map.
Right, they've already been accepted. In the conveyance to Ken Musso, for example, I don't have the deed in front of me, but typically the conveyance deeds say, lot such and such on the West Shore subdivision map, subject to all of the utility line easements previously conveyed to the city of Plattsburgh by virtue of such and such instrument number.
Okay. We didn't have the opportunity to have finalized comments from Department of Public Works, but I'm sure next meeting we'll
Yeah.
maybe have clarification or
Yep.
questions.
Mike, Adam, actually, this goes back to Larry Duffina's days too, but they've all been out there to look at the site to help us figure out where everything is, so they're well aware of what's going on out there.
Okay. One comment we did get was there's a force main that runs
That would be-
across a couple of these lots.
Yeah, it would be on the, if you go back to the map, Jody, if you can, it's on the top side, or the east side of lot M9, way up on the top of the map. The force main comes from the pump station on the south side of Connecticut Road, and then it's pumped back out to, if I remember correctly, that gets pumped all the way to New York Road before it falls into a gravity sewer again.
It's our understanding that the department wants to ensure that that location is exact in relationship to your development on the lots.
Yes, that's the last line that we believe we finally worked out with a site visit just, probably last week, 2 weeks ago, with Adam.
Andrew.
Oh, pardon me?
Andrew.
Andrew, I'm sorry.
I'm Adam.
Sorry, Adam. Andrew, yes, Andrew's over at Public Works now, right? My apologies.
And he was the one actually saying it's not fully determined and that those lines were actually scaled from previous maps.
Oh, is that what you heard from
Yes.
Adam?
Andrew.
Andrew, okay.
The other
So-
guy.
I'll have to clarify that with Evan, because Evan told me that he and Andrew worked it out as to where that force main is. But there's still some doubt in Andrew's mind?
Yes.
Okay, well,
I guess
yeah, we're gonna find out for sure then.
I was gonna say, if you can coordinate with that department and just make sure
With
we have,
Andrew.
Nail it down.
yes,
Okay.
agreement on that.
Yeah,
I think another item is topography and grading, given all of the utilities and whatever you need for fill and grading, we may want to see a little more detail on that on the next map.
okay. Yeah, because, obviously the city doesn't want a lot of fill put over the top of these utility lines.
With topography and grading, looks like this site would qualify for stormwater pollution prevention plan.
Yeah, it would be part of a larger plan. There would need to be a SWIP, even though it's residential, but yeah. Yep. Good point.
So that'll, work into your grading and topography.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the only other, I see that you have a note down below about Clinton County Health Department approval. So I'm assuming this is a realty subdivision.
Yes. Yeah, it would constitute a modification to the West Shore subdivision, which was a realty subdivision, so yes, this would have to go through the health department for approval.
Okay.
Now, about that, the narrow frontage on that one piece of property, it seems like you could take the property line between M5 and M3 and M4 and drop that down and do the same thing. You could raise up the back side of M5 and drop down the front side of M5. And then widen the front of that up. You could probably get 40, 50 feet out of that at least and not disturb too much of that building area.
Yeah,
You know, just move between M6 and M5, the back lot right there, move that line higher up on M6, just like maybe 10 feet. Then move the front line down like maybe 15, 20 feet.
yeah.
At least 15 feet, and then you could also drop the front on M4 where it hits,
Make those lines more perpendicular to the road.
yeah.
You know,
'cause-
for some reason, I think we had done that in one layout, but I
Yeah,
think the
because
owner
that would
asked
make,
us to go back. I can't remember his reasoning for that, but it does make
because
sense
that
now
narrow
to look
lot,
at it again.
that narrow frontage does not look good, and this would widen it up. You know, you could almost, maybe not double it, but come close to doubling it
Sure.
without affecting much of the building area because,
Actually, is there any reason you wouldn't just split the difference between M5 and M6? Pull that, it looks like you have a tie point.
Yeah,
Just so, pull that tie point back just a little bit and swing that property line.
yeah.
Split. I don't know why, I mean.
Well, I'm almost positive our original layout was along those lines of thinking, and I can't remember why it was changed. But yeah, let me talk to the owner about that and see. I don't know why there would be any objection to that, but it makes sense. Yes.
it'd be less odd looking.
Unless it had something to do with that pole.
Could be some utilities in there, grading.
Yeah. All right. Let me take a look at that and see if we can improve the geometry of the side lot lines for M4 through M6. Okay.
I just think if I were someone trying to build a home, I would not be looking at M6. I would look at that and just be so turned off by it.
It's a nice wide lot, though, in the back. I mean, it's a nice, I was gonna say,
But your house is gonna be in the backyard.
once that driveway's
No,
in.
it's right in the
you
middle.
It is, it's gonna be
Well.
a long driveway to shovel.
Yeah.
Anybody else on the board have any other comments, questions? Scott, are you satisfied?
Got our marching orders.
Okay.
A couple of things, you can just have some answers for when you come back. Okay. Again, archaeologically sensitive area, yes, no. You're just letting the system check the box for you. Okay. Right, it was the auto check.
I believe the EAF mapper.
Yeah, just came
Completes
up
that
with, it
question.
answers yes on part 1, question 12B. It answers yes on,
Yes.
yeah. And then the other one, I was like, does any portion of the site contain wetlands? You got wetlands there? Because that's coming up yes too. Except it says digital mapping is kind of incomplete. So I think to be safe, answers yes, but I think you can probably reassure us that the actual answer is no when you come back.
Right.
It won't be wet when he puts all that fill in there.
Yeah, I know. We actually need to, like, pay attention to the answers on these things, so that's why, can we get them to say the right things? Okay.
Let's say, did you have any other comments?
No,
No?
that was it.
The only other comment I would have for you, Scott, is being a major subdivision, this is, a 3-meeting process. Yep.
Okay.
I would, it does require
Hearing.
a public hearing, just so you don't see like the other applicant. I would ensure that on your 3rd submission that you know, we're advertising for the public hearing and,
Now, is that how you do it, the public hearing at the end? You want to do it at the next meeting? when we do
I think it's at in the ordinance, it's on the third submission.
Seemed it would make sense to get the public input, before you complete the plans,
Design,
but I think, that's the way I see it in most other municipalities, but.
The public hearing is listed under the final plat for major subdivision. We have the sketch, and then we have the preliminary plat for the major subdivision. I do not see a public hearing listed under preliminary, but then when you go to final plat for major subdivision,
That's the public hearing.
it says the public hearing, so,
All right.
just so we don't, stretch it out to
Bump you.
4 meetings because of missing a publication.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was also some comment that some of these water utilities being shown as proposed have been installed. So they're existing now. So they're still, been speaking with Andrew, he showed these two at least, and so these get wiped out. So I guess I haven't been out to the site, but that's what I've been told. So that could be updated.
Okay,
Direction.
probably put in as a result of that 2015 subdivision approval I mentioned.
Okay.
So I guess
Lose the water line bridge.
this lot is now being served by
You
these
lose the water line bridge.
split, or I'm not entirely sure, but there's one as well here.
If I may just jot down a note here.
Excuse me.
That is built. Okay, thank you.
I was gonna say, Scott, if you can, I guess work diligently with Public Works to make sure
Yep.
you've gotten all
Will,
their sign-offs,
Okay,
for the next meeting, that'd be great.
you bet. All right. Thank you very much.
No further
Mr.
When we
comments.
get back.
Thank you, Scott.
Thanks.
All right, we're good to do this.
You too. Okay, do I have any further discussion with the board?
I have one question.
Okay.
Would it make sense for us to have some kind of meeting together to kind of figure out how we're gonna handle actually managing this paperwork and doing some of this stuff with changes in mind?
I believe that ultimately, all changes aren't official at the city common council level yet. I think right after that timeframe, that's probably appropriate that we would be,
That we sit in the same room and talk about.
No, we'll have to
How to manage.
advertise it as a public meeting if we're.
we would. I think
Yeah.
what I would do is I would ask that city council give us a little guidance on that in terms of
Yeah.
how we're going to provide input on
Right,
our process now that we don't have a city engineer to
right.
coordinate.
We've got some things we need to figure out, and I
Yes.
don't personally think I wanna be figuring this out via a bunch of emails. We
Understood.
should come out with a much better
And we'll take care of it.
Understood.
product, and I don't think it should be attached to a planning board meeting, because I think we'll feel rushed.
Yep.
That's my concern.
Okay.
Could always involve pizza again.
Well, dancing
We're not.
stars is not-
I think
No,
it would
yeah.
be probably appropriate for members though to start generating some of those
Some of
thoughts
those
so
yeah.
that we can.
Things we're concerned about or
Right.
ideas that we have, yes.
We might officially put that in, as a board, put that in a memo to
Mhm.
city council or the common council or someone to
Right.
start thinking about those things on behalf of the planning board.
Which I don't think would necessarily be a bad idea anyway, because I have some concerns about having that kind of communication with the council with regard to development downtown as well. I think
Okay.
that there's some things that we need guidance from somebody, I'm not sure who the somebody is, with regard to some of the things that were discussed during the DRY public discussions. There were concerns that came out about things like signage or branding and some other stuff with regard to how downtown might look, or how street signage and things that will come up with on projects that I think we need to have some guidance on in order for us to shepherd some of those ideas in a cohesive and coherent way.
Okay.
would we be determining things on the downtown projects?
Well,
Because it's not considered historical, is it?
Well, it seems to me that,
Well-
I guess, probably what you're saying is that we should have something in our zoning ordinance to,
possibly zoning, but I think we need to have some guidance. A long time ago, I know we had the last time I sat on the board, we had some discussion about the idea of creating some, I would say, uniformity of thoughts about improvements, anything that got improved downtown that came in front of us, that the board should have some guidance on that from, it never got off the ground. But as I was listening to the discussions, because I went to all of the public discussions for downtown revitalization, there are some things that if it happened to come our way, I think we ought to have, like I said, I think we need to have thought about it ahead of time and some guidance from somewhere or some input on it to guide us. So if we're gonna, I bring it up because if we're gonna communicate with the common council, the city council, then we might as well talk about that a little bit and communicate with them about wanting some guidance on that too.
Okay. Yeah, and then once again, I think the biggest item, not having a city engineer or an engineering department.
Right.
That's where our applications were processed,
Right.
reviewed.
There's a lot.
Prepped,
Right.
Prepped.
looked for holes, looked for things that are missing. We don't have to be doing that searching.
But we should be thinking about either questions we might have for the common council,
Right.
or thoughts on direction on how we might want to see this structured in the future, to assist, because we're going to need it.
We're gonna need it, right.
Yes. So. Okay, if there's no further discussion, do you have a motion to adjourn?
In a matter of the motion to adjourn, I make a motion to adjourn.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Carried.
I see you around a lot lately.
With zoning, one of the things we did, even though clearly
These
this
are
is
the
a
normal?
inspection,
Yes.
Ron used to go down, well, I did it at one point, you go down
the
and
needle
go
and
through the
look further.
applications.
Yep.
Long before the meeting, in case something was, like, owner's permission to represent the property, blah, 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 it's a corporation, you need to have a letter from the corporate officer,